Cachamaniacs.
GeoGearHeads.
Along with Daryl W4, I'm the bad cop, and we're back for another heaping helping of GeoGearHeads hospitality.
For Beta.33, we're talking with Brand44 about taking on the Geomate Junior, and we have Ed O'Brien, the company's president. I know many of you are excited to see the return of the Geomate Junior, and we'll get to that and many more products coming from Brand44 shortly.
The crew at Geocaching, the crew at the Geocaching Podcast will be back next week for a show about moving or adding a smartphone when you've been using GPSRs. That show will again be recording a little later than normal. If you plan to join us through the Google Plus Hangout on Air or through YouTube, look for that stream sometime around 6:40 p.m. Pacific or 9:40 p.m. Eastern.
You can email us at geogirheads@cachamaniacs.com. Drop us a note on Facebook, Google Plus, or Twitter. Best of all would be to call into the Cachamaniacs voicemail line at 206-350-3647. We already have a number of comments via Google Plus, but really want your stories about problems or successes you might have had when attempting to move from a smartphone once you had already gotten used to a GPSR. Try to get those into us by the end of the day on Wednesday, August 22nd.
Now, Craig Rat, a listener, also let us know about his URL shortening for caches on a number of services. All you need is the URL starting with his domain, lat_long_info, the slash, then the code GAGCOXOUOZOSOKOP or OB. Wow, that's a long list of listing sites. But once again, that's lat_long_info, lat_long.info.
.info, yeah, and that's a nice one, handy tool for people who aren't using necessarily geocaching.com. One last note before we get into the meat of this episode, though, and that's the launch of the Cachamaniacs review feed. In that feed, we have posts for the DeLorme InReach video review we did earlier this year and the new Power Bag audio and video review. Only the audio versions will download through your podcatcher, but you'll find the links to the YouTube videos in those posts as well. Head over to the Cachamaniacs.com site and you'll find the review features there, or search for it in iTunes. If you haven't seen it already, I think you'll really like the Boy, I'm going to have to edit that. If you haven't seen it already, I really think the GeoGearhead audience is really going to love that Power Bag.
Now, it's time to bring in Ed O'Brien of Brand44. And since most geocachers haven't heard of Brand44, Ed, could you tell us just a little bit about what the company does?
You know, the company is focused around getting kids and families outdoors, and we have products primarily in the geocaching products, along with a product line called Slackers, which is zip lines and slackline kits, and we're doing some educational games for the Boy Scouts.
Nice. We wanted to get you on today to talk specifically about the Geomate Junior, but then we discovered the plans by Brand44 to release a number of products for cachers. The short story of the Geomate Junior was that Atmosphere released a small, simplified geocaching-only GPSR a few years ago. Several months back, another company acquired Atmosphere, but wasn't interested in the Geomate Junior line, so they dropped sales and support for the device. Now, about a month ago, Brand44 came to Geomate Junior's rescue, continuing support and restarting sales. Let's start with a little bit about the Geomate Junior and how Brand44 came to own it.
Well, we have been looking at the geocaching category for about a year and a half to really help bring a product line to retail. And we had uncovered the opportunity and recognized that the Geomate Junior really fit a great niche in the market, and we actually would have loved to have reproduced, done a similar GPS unit, but we ran into problems with that. But as we developed our geocaching accessory line and reached out to Groundspeak to see if we could be licensed and bring the product to retail, they said absolutely. And along the way, as we were developing the products and working on our product line, actually Groundspeak notified us that the situation atmosphere, and we reached out to them and inquired about the opportunity, and took a couple months, but we were able to acquire the company actually in late spring. So we're very excited about it. We delayed our launch of our geocaching accessories, rebranded the product line. So it's Geomate Junior is the GPS unit, and the Geomate is a brand for our geocaching accessories. And those are all being launched next month. And the Geomate Junior, we've been shipping orders and repairing some of the things, the issues with the website and things like that. But anyway, definitely very focused on the geocaching accessory line, and have big plans for it for the future.
Excellent. Now, you've just gotten a hold of the product, and it was very fortuitous that had happened. But can you kind of talk to what the future of the Geomate Junior is going to be as far as the support and that kind of stuff?
Well, we've actually, one of the things with acquisition, and not all the things we're told, but the timing of the acquisition and finalizing things, surprisingly, right after that, we ran into a number of problems on the website and with the updating kit, and we since we're launching tomorrow a downloadable program that you can put on your own laptop and computer, so you actually don't have to interface with you actually can update and work off your own computer, then running into some of the problems we're having right now with the new versions of Internet Explorer and Firefox, etc. There's the code for the Geomate and the update kit were actually written with a program that's not being supported any longer within the, by Windows or by Microsoft. And anyway, so good news is we've invested the last 2 weeks of rewriting the program so you can actually make the updating easier and running into a lot less problems. So we'll have options on our website. I think it's tomorrow or maybe Saturday. We'll see that. But we are very focused on the category. One of the big things with the Geomate is the custom caches. We're hearing the Geomate is actually being placed in a lot of schools nationally. The Boy Scouts are very interested in it, birthday parties and things like that. And the Geomate has you can create custom caches and have a custom cache experience versus loading everything on the geocaching.com and making it public. So we're hearing that as a big opportunity, and we're going to be continuing to do a lot of creative things around that. And we are planning on updating the Geomate and having a new GPS unit available next year.
Oh, very cool. And I know it really is tough dealing with the browsers and making everything work inside the browsers. So that offline, well, I guess it's probably not going to be offline. I assume it's still going to need an internet connection. But that downloadable version really will be a nice tool to have. Right.
And, I'm not an IT specialist, but we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how we can solve this permanently. And it sounds like that is... hopefully that is the solution, but they will still need to go through the Geomate, mygeomate.com website. We will have activity through that, but in terms of actually downloading and actually running the program, you'll be doing it on your computer.
Excellent. So is that something then that someone would be able to take on a laptop out to like a scout camp and load the custom caches there, or would they have to have internet connectivity to make that work?
That's a good question. I would think they should be able to download and take that program with a laptop, and they still might need internet. I think they might need to, because they actually have to download through. But you're asking some questions that I don't know the answers to, but I would hope that's the case, but I don't know for sure.
Oh, no problem. It's something that isn't even out yet, so we can always hope, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something we look for in Rev 2.
And we won't get these, frustrated geocachers that are running into, issues. So
now, you talked about the Geomate Junior as being one brand line, but Geomate as being another. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Sure. Well, we're launching 18 different geocaching accessories that we are under the brand Geomate. And from a packaging and branding, it really, the Geomate Junior is actually, it's really a Geomate GPS unit called the Geomate Junior. Mm-hmm. So from a packaging and product available at retail, it's pretty simple to understand, and the Geomate Junior still is the name of the GPS device, etc. But some of the other items are really exciting. We've gotten tremendous interest in many of the products. One of the things that we are known for, one of the things we're suffering from in Colorado, where we're based, is a pine beetle is destroying many of the trees in the mountains and not throughout Colorado and out through the west. And we have some really creative pine beetle log caches that are made from the log caches. They're made from the pine beetle diseased trees that have been cut down, and we're utilizing those tree parts to make these cache containers. And we've got a small one and a large one. And those are getting great reviews from everybody, from retailers and obviously from Groundspeak to other people. We've got a really cool gnome series of geocache containers. Everybody loves a gnome. Gnomes are known for, bringing good luck, and it's a perfect geocache container. So we've designed some gnomes that are getting really cool things. And then some other items that we really have designed that are unique to the category are we call them party caching kits, which you can use for a multiple geocache activity, meaning multi-cache, where there's 5 or 6 geocaches tied to a theme, from a spy kit to a Halloween kit you can use for a spooky kit, to a treasure kit, to a camping kit. And so those are multi-caches, or you can utilize them as a quota scavenger hunt game and use a private geocache, instead of having a true geocache, but you can use them you can use them on the Geomate Junior and have a custom treasure hunt in your backyard without having to list them on geocaching.com. But those are really getting tremendous interest from retailers and from the geocaching community. I love the spy kit. We actually went to a spy novelist who wrote us a plot that a boy gets kidnapped, and you have to solve the puzzle. Obviously find all the geocaches, and you'll solve the mystery. So anyway, really clever stuff. Hopefully pretty unique to the category, and add some more interest to a geocaching experience.
That sounds really impressive. First of all, the cache containers made out of the trees that have been damaged by this pine beetle, I really like that idea. Not only is it natural to begin with and hides into the environment, but it's making the best out of a bad situation. Yeah, and they're really clever how they were designed to open, and they're a little tricky, and we saw it off the bottom, so they're burned with the geocaching logo, official geocache container. And then even our displays, we actually are using the pine beetle kill for that. Mm-hmm. And part of our company direction is we're planting 10,000 trees this year. So we're really a tree-friendly tree-friendly company, a really outdoor company that, hopefully there'll be plenty of places to hide a geocache container under a tree for years and years to come. Nice. Now, I want to ask one thing on the party kits. Of course, the spy one, that intrigues me. Are these party kits just the caches and the story itself, or are there GPSs involved, like on a rental basis? The way that we're selling them are quote, a kit, just geocaching, 5 or 6 geocaches in the kit. We do not include the GPS unit, so they're recommended $30 retail item with all these caches and a plot and clue sheets. I mean, there's a lot of thought, a lot of time put into the kits, but there's no GPS part of it. Okay.
Well, I could really see that being interesting for maybe someone who wants to get some kids involved, but doesn't really know that everyone's going to get into the tech, and especially for like something in a good-sized backyard or around the back of a school or something. Maybe even without a GPS, that could actually kind of motivate people to try geocaching before they go out on that first hunt.
Yeah, one of our markets that we're having tremendous success is and the toy store, the specialty toy retail market, and they're all about engaging kids in birthday parties and scavenger hunts and things like that. So what we found is there's tremendous there is tremendous interest and opportunities for people to rent them. And I know there's a toy store chain in Minneapolis that we went and did a big explanation and training on how to go geocaching and what is geocaching, et cetera. And what we found is that with teaching the staff and letting them know that these could be rented out, that they have been very, very successful in both leasing and selling Geomate Juniors. So it is an opportunity to get kids outdoors, and the same thing is happening in the school market. Is we're part of the outdoor industry, and we're part of the toy market. So the outdoor industry, with some sporting goods and things like that, they've just released these studies over the last 7 years. The participation rate, or getting kids outdoors, has dropped from 79% from once a week down to 60%, and so that's a dramatic drop in kids getting outdoors. So that is being raised as obviously a major problem. And so we're putting this out, and it's really kind of our focus as a company, is to really engage kids to get them outdoors, and geocaching is a fabulous way to do it.
Well, without a doubt, we think the same way because, well, we're kind of that whole geocaching thing. And the party kits, I think, will be great for not only cachers, as, being able to throw an event with a theme, but I've taught kids the basics of geocaching, and having a kit like this with a story behind it, I think would be a great introduction, even before we got involved in the GPSs and how they work. Just put the kit out there and, here's your clues, go find these containers. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that one personally.
Yeah, I'd love to, Daryl. I got to get you. When they're coming in about 2 to 3 weeks. So I will send you samples. So
well, that will be very cool. We'd love to take a look at those. Yeah. And I'm really excited about the cache containers I've seen. I've been, and I haven't actually had my hands on any of these things. Of course, I've only seen the brochure that you had sent us in a PDF format. But I've got a soft spot for the gnomes, because some of the best caches we did locally were themed around gnomes way back like 6-7 years ago when we first got into caching. And to think that there's now going to be gnome containers that are specifically designed and created for gnomes. And I love the whole thing with the pine beetle wood too, but it's the gnomes have a soft spot in my heart.
Well, thanks. I agree. And The Hobbit, you got to remember, the Hobbit movie is coming out into Christmas, and that is obviously they're all little creatures and gnomes, and I think it's gonna be a great time. But it's gonna be fun. It adds just something. Everybody's like at the trade shows, they're all like, "Oh, that's the cutest thing." Oh, so it just adds making a geocache memorable or fun. That is really, I think, one of the most important things with geocaching is to really step up their creativity and make it a little bit more interesting, because a lot of them are just not that memorable. So that's my story, is make it fun.
Now, I know that you're also providing some trackables as the items that can be resold. So there's going to be a wide selection of stuff that retailers can put on their shelves. Can you kind of talk, though, a little bit about what options you're going to have in the way of trackables?
We're starting with 2 different trackable items in our called our planogram, our space. One is we're doing a National Park GeoCoin series. That's the plan, and hopefully we'll get through 12 of them over the next couple years. But our first launch is a Grand Canyon trackable GeoCoin, and so that's pretty interesting. And then the other thing is, we were trying to brainstorm what would be cool with Geomate brand and what we've done, and so we've actually just created a just trackable tag with the Geomate Boy, which shows a backpack and things like that. So it's nothing too unique. I mean, it is our first go around with that, and we're excited about that. But we could use some ideas, so we are going to be placing a lot of these trackable items out, and we're including them in a lot of different starter kits and things like that. And if somebody has some good ideas for us, we'd love to get some direction on more trackable items, trackable tags.
And how can they get in touch with you then?
You know, they can send it to ed@brand44trading.com, or you can go on mygeomate.com and send us. There's a link to off the website, and send us ID.
Right now, these are not available in stores. Am I correct?
Right. I mean, we're actually shipping geocaching accessories probably the 1st of September. So our Geomate Juniors we're shipping, and the Geomate Junior update kit, but the rest of these items, due to the lateness of finding the Geomate, we actually had to pull back and throw away packaging and repackage everything under the Geomate brand.
Oh, that kind of really sucks.
We're just about a month ago. We're a month away.
Now, well, before we let you go, I'm really interested in how you decided to build a company around all of these geocaching supplies. Obviously, you have a lot of faith in
does that mean that it doesn't really sell well, or if there's what the issues are? So one of the things we had to do as a company is make sure that we had a couple products to really go to market with, so we could help strengthen our presentation. So anyway, I feel like the geocaching category has a lot of depth, or a lot of growth opportunities, and by incorporating, from everything from like party caching kits, where you don't have to actually have a GPS to play the game, or maybe that will help broaden the base of the category and even actually expose more people to geocaching. So it's important to think not just for the geocaching community, or how to bring people into it. So anyway, we definitely are optimistic. There's a lot of interest to put it into the stores, and one of the things that we are doing is really providing a lot more education on our displays and our fixtures, what is geocaching. From our experiences, and actually even talk to Groundspeak, they feel like there's a 10% market awareness to the brand to what is geocaching. They've heard of it, but only out of that 10%, half of those people really know what it is. So there's a big percentage of the people in the United States really don't know what it is yet. And we hope with that there's growth, and we can introduce a lot of people to geocaching and get them involved.
Well, Ed, I'm excited to see these products when they come out. Now, where can we find them?
A number of products are going to be launched at REI. We've got Sports Chalet, which is another, it's a West Coast retailer that's launching the line. We've got others that are going in different websites and different catalog companies. And we've got a lot of independents, from Hobbytown stores to other specialty toy retailers around the United States that are bringing the product in. So we're still looking for some other major national retail groups to obviously have a presence in every state. Mm-hmm. But, it's just going to take time. But we should have all the products on Amazon and a number of the products on Groundspeak website. And, it'll just, and they can obviously find them on our website.
And give us that website one more time.
The website will be mygeomate.com, which has got the geocaching, the Geomate Junior, and the geocaching accessories. And then our company brand, our website is brand44co.com. And if one of the other hot categories is slack lining and zipline kits, that's what we're selling in So they all kind of go together. Once the kids get tired of geocaching, you can go let them ride in the backyard on a zip line.
I love that idea. Ed, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate getting the time to talk to you.
Well, I appreciate you reaching out to us and to me, and look forward to meeting you, Daryl, and the rest of a lot more geocaching, a lot more of the geocachers out there. I am not going to be, well, by the way, it's a great week to talk about geocaching. It's obviously the annual International Geocaching Day is this Saturday, and I wish everybody to go outside and geocache on Saturday.
Well, thank you. We'll do our best. I'm going to be at the Groundspeak block party, so I'll be out geocaching and talking with cachers. So,
I was not. They were sold out. They could not get us into the event, unfortunately. Yeah, but I wish I would have met you. We'll look forward to meeting you at some point, and enjoy the weekend up in Seattle.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not going to quit caching anytime soon, so we'll run into each other.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're real excited, too, about next week's show when we'll be talking with the crew from the Geocaching Podcast once again with a topic we're a little bit more familiar with, which is going from a GPS and adding in a smartphone. Chris, do you have any stories that you're preparing for that one?
Always. Yeah, I started out on a GPS, and then added in the smartphone. And, it's two different worlds. It really is. And just recently I went back to the GPS some more, and, the experiences are completely different.
They are, but I do love having both available. And, we'll talk a lot about that next week, and we want to hear the stories from all of our listeners as well.
And, Daryl, what's the best way to do that?
Well, they can check the Cachemaniacs website at cachemaniacs.com for more on the GeoGearHeads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by calling 206-350-3647, by emailing geogearheads at cachemaniacs.com, or through social media. Your support helps keep the Cachemaniacs shows coming. Please consider making a PayPal donation through the link on the website to support the Cachemaniacs shows. GeoGearHeads is produced by Chris Umfenauer and Daryl Wanberg. This show is copyright 2012 by Daryl Wanberg, all rights reserved.
Cash with a Cachemaniac.